Hi everybody, I'm Valerie, and I thought with everybody staying at home that I would show you one of my favorite things to bake while I'm at home, because I know a lot of you, that's what you're doing. So I'm gonna make banana bread, and I have all the ingredients here. Let me just show you real quick. All my ingredients are all laid out, so let me just give you the recipe now. Okay, so first of all, make sure you wash your hands, especially now. I've done that. And I'm gonna put on my apron, and then I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna need. So preheat your oven to 350. I know everybody's oven is different, but 350 is the basic. I have to just scoot over here because I forgot to pull out my pan. Get yourself a loaf pan. This one is my absolute favorite. It's Pampered Chef. You'll see most everything I'm using here, measurement-wise and bowl-wise, is Pampered Chef. No affiliation whatsoever, but I just love all their stuff. So this I've had for, I don't even know. Oh, it's gonna be over 20 years. And you're not supposed to wash it with soap or anything, so you just wash it with hot water. And when it gets this nice patina on it, it's the best. It looks dirty, but it's not. Okay, so spray your loaf pan. I do the sides and the bottom, and then put that aside. Okay, so you're going to need 1 cup measure, 1/2 cup, 1/3 of a cup, and 1/4 of a cup. You're going to need teaspoon and 1/2 teaspoon. So this is a Pampered Chef one, and I can kind of dial up what I need. And then for ingredients, you're gonna need baking soda, salt, baking powder, and vanilla. You're also gonna need 2 cups of flour, 1/2 cup of salt, 1/2 cup of sugar. Don't use 1/2 cup of salt, only if you're making Play-Doh. And 1/3 cup of butter. I actually use margarine, so whatever you want to use. And then 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Don't worry, when I start adding everything in, you can follow along. If you need to pause and go get things, you can do that now. Don't forget 2 eggs as well. And of course, we're making banana bread, so we need bananas. So you need very ripe bananas, and 3 of them, or 4. I've used 4 before. It makes it a little more moist, or moister, whatever the word is. I know everybody hates that word. I have 3 today, so we're gonna go with that. All right, so if you wanna pause here, go turn on your oven to 350, get your ingredients. I'll leave a recipe below, so you can follow along, and then come back and we'll start. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna start by putting all the dry ingredients. I use 3 bowls, a smaller, a medium, and a large. So I take the medium bowl and I put all the dry ingredients in it. So that is the 2 cups of flour, and the 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. All right, so that all goes in, and I like to just swish it around just to make sure everything is all equally distributed. Okay, so put that aside, and Let me move these things out of the way so I don't confuse myself. I like to take away my little things that I've already used so I don't get confused. Okay, now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're going to put in the big bowl, we are going to put the 1/2 cup of sugar into the big bowl. I'm gonna just do this so you can see. All right, so there goes the 1/2 cup of sugar. Put that aside. And then the 1/3 cup of butter or margarine, whatever you want to use, put that in there. If you have a standing mixer and you feel like using a standing mixer, you can do that. I've done that before. I prefer to do this one by hand. And then just kind of swish. That's not the right term, but you know, mix, not swish, the sugar and the butter. I guess you would say that this would be creaming the sugar and the butter till it gets kind of like, you know, a Play-Doh consistency. Okay, so once that's all mixed like that, then we're going to add the 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I love brown sugar, it's like playing with sand. So get that all in there. Mix that all up. And with brown sugar, sometimes you get those clumps. Even if it's fresh, which mine is. I just opened the package today. So, all right, you can kind of see the consistency. It's kind of creamy. And now we're gonna add in a teaspoon of vanilla and the 2 eggs. So I'm gonna take one of these bowls and put my eggshells in it. 1 egg, 2 egg. I want to rinse my hands off from the eggness and make sure I didn't go down the side. Okay, so let's put that aside. All right, stir in your eggs and your vanilla till everything is totally mixed. I still have a few clumps of the brown sugar in there, but that's okay. Okay, now is where the bananas come in. So put that aside for a second. Get your small bowl. Get your 3 very ripe bananas. Get that out of the way. Okay. I like to just this one's really ripe, so this one's gooey, which is good because it's gonna really moisten up the bread. I'm sorry for those of you who don't like that word. And then this one's gonna be just as gooey. So you're just kind of making it smaller chunks to make it easier to mix up or to mash up. Here's my 3rd banana. See, this one is more like the ones I usually use. It kind of doesn't get all over my fingers. But it actually makes it a little bit more difficult to mash up if they're not really, really ripe. Okay, so now take your masher, potato masher, whatever you have. Again, you can do this maybe in a blender if you want, but I prefer to do it by hand. So we're just gonna mash it up until it becomes kind of liquidy. And there's gonna be a quiz on these terms. smush it, mush it, and liquidy. I'm making up my own baking vocabulary. All right, so this is a pretty good consistency and actually didn't take as long as it usually does because my bananas were extremely ripe. Okay. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your big bowl again. And you're going to just pour all that mashed banana into the bowl. Mix it around. It's really starting to smell good now. Mix it around with that the butter, egg, and brown sugar mixture. And you'll kind of see clumps of banana in there, and that's okay. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your medium bowl with your dry ingredients in it. And you're gonna, you can put it all in at once. Some people like to do it. I know some people, when they bake, you do it just a little bit at a time. But if you're not doing it in a standing mixer, it's not gonna create clouds of dust. So you can just sort of gently stir it. Okay, so we're gonna stir this around just until everything's totally mixed and you have this nice golden yellow mixture. Okay. And it should look just like, and it's really easy. It doesn't take that long. There you go. Okay, so now we're ready. You've gotten your loaf pan that's all sprayed, or however you like to grease your pan, whether you do it with shortening and flour. You don't have to flour it, I don't think, but you can if that's your way. I just use non-stick spray. And then we're just gonna pour it into the bowl. Like, I'm gonna turn it so you can see it. And then in about 45-50 minutes, you're gonna have a delicious, warm, yummy banana bread. Get every little bit in there, because every little bit counts. Okay. And what I like to do is take a lick. I know, raw egg in there. Oh well. I've been doing it all my life. And then I kind of pat it on the bottom, get those air bubbles out. There you go. And now come with me. We're gonna go over to the oven here. And remember, the oven is at 350. And then put it on the top shelf. There we go. It's in there. You can see. All right. Close it up. And then I'm gonna go over and put my timer on. Put my timer on for, I'm gonna do it for, sorry, I've got it on my fridge here. I'm gonna do it for 45 minutes. And then at 45 minutes, I'm gonna check it. So you want, like, you wanna do it like you would with any cake or brownie or anything like that. You want to use your, I'm gonna grab mine. Want to use your cake tester, put it in the middle, and if nothing comes out, it's done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause it here, and then I'm gonna come back in about 45-50 minutes, and I'm gonna show you the end result. Okay, stay tuned, be right back.